Everyone has a plan when they start, and as soon as you take a good hit, your plan falls apart.
Hearing that cage close behind you, going through that process and actually towing up and banging it out. No, because I've never been through it before, but I feel like almost like the rite of passage of going through this process.
And I think working through that and just taking the hit and keep rolling through is my biggest challenge right now, and that's the one I just want to hit head on.
See this through to fruition, that has to be the part of it, and I want to do it. Regain some confidence and some drive, and I guess regaining that desire to push yourself. I mean, just to constantly driving towards personal betterment. I feel like I've lost a lot of that over the last several years of my life.
I'm doing this for me. I'm just trying to be the best me that I can be. And, you know, this program is giving me the opportunity to do that.
I've not been in that particular situation before, but I have been in altercations of sorts. And I don't know. I imagine, again, if I don't puke, the person across the cage, whether I love them or don't know them at all, they sign the same fucking paperwork I did, and they're coming with the exact same degree of intent that I am. I better leave it all in there.
He said 5 seconds tall, weighing in at even 167 pounds. 35 represents surplus gym. He goes for tonight from Salem, Oregon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome please, Scott Stewart.
Like, if this is an actual opportunity, why would I turn this down? If this is real. And then I was like, what's it gonna hurt to write the letter, to submit my information and go for it? The worst they say is no, and my life doesn't change. So.
The wife thinks I'm crazy. She doesn't really understand it. I had to do it. I mean, I just had to do it. There was no question. It's now or never, and I'm jumping in with both feet.
Fighting in the blue corner, he's a brawler who's also named his mixed martial arts debut. He stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. He also weighing in at even 167 pounds. Turned by the representing straight box gym. He does it tonight from Portland, Oregon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome please, Kris.
When I first told her about it, because there's that element of the, it's kind of a reality show of sorts via the internet or whatever. Her first reaction was, "There's not going to be fucking people in my house, are there?" It's like, no, it's not like that at all. And beyond that, she's been incredibly supportive and very, proud of me, which feels good too.
Nice hustle.
Get it.
Nice.
Tell me how important the coaches were in the whole training process, from going from wimp to warrior.
Instrumental. Brian Walsh, Rick Davison, and Gumi are invaluable. The technical knowledge, experience, and welcoming personalities inspired improvements every day. All of the SBG coaches push you and build you up to make you better than you were the day before.
You got this, baby.
Good job. Definitely got it's the initial connection with weight roots. Here.
Hey, guys,
what's up, man?
If you're on bottom, listen, if you're on bottom, you know what to do from there. Once your ass hits the mat, it's either technical stand-up, which is fine, or you gotta pump those feet in right away. Don't worry about when you take down like going like this. That is too late at that point.
I should have been going to the ground then, right?
You want to let them work to get you to the ground. Okay, let's go.
Day one was like, the first day of school jitters. You don't know many people and, you're afraid you're not going to do well.
Nice.
One more, sprint.
Awesome, guys.
Sprint. Sprint.
The ideal thing is for me to get here at that big angle and stay away from that right hand while I can still touch him with both hands. Good, great. Recover, recover.
All of the Wimp to Warrior contestants and members and players, everyone is awesome. It's a strange thing to spar with someone and wrestle with someone and be in their personal space, and you're not really trying to hurt someone, but there are real pressures and techniques that you need to apply to keep yourself honest and keep the other players honest. Bridges that you build with those people, are unbreakable. It's amazing. I wish I would have done this 20 years ago.
Reset.
What are you thinking? What do you hope that you take away from this?
That's an awesome question, man. Ultimately,
Nice.
I hope I continue to push myself, regardless of age. I hope I continue to push myself physically, mentally, continue learning.
Go. Feet on the hips. Feet on the hips. Don't worry about smooth back.
I also want to keep myself open to new relationships. This place is incredible. The personalities I've met in this building so far, we're 2.5 months in, and I hope I continue to stay in this culture and grow in this culture, honestly.
Bridge. My hands stay where they're at, okay? And then this far side leg is doing the shrimping, right? So my butt's going this way. Bridge, shrimp, and then this bottom leg. Look at my frames though. They've never moved. That way if Brian drives into me, I can hold him there for a second until I can get my leg through. So I'm here, blocking this hip out. I've got this forearm in front of his throat, okay? So now I've got a nice frames here to keep him off me for a second once I go. Bridge into him, shrimp out, get that knee through. Okay? Let's go. Grab somebody, 5 for 5.
Nice, Steph. Good job.
Let's go. Keep going, guys. Head set. We switch to not yet. Oh, nice recovery. That was the... Good time on the top.
Nice, Scott.
No, wait for reset.
Reset.
Don't eat a bunch of pizza and shit.
Pizza and donuts, guys.
No Chips Ahoy cookies.
7-Eleven.
I'm not saying any names, Chris, but no Chips Ahoy cookies. 1, 2, 3.
SBG!
So how is that going into, you guys have been training together for 6 months, you've developed a relationship. Does it feel, because looking at that, I don't think you have any problem bringing it, whoever it is.
We had many conversations going into it, though. Weeks ahead.
We met,
are you going to be okay?
Discussed the fight before.
Yeah. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, no problem. Because we built this bond, this bridge. Yeah, we became friends through the whole training process, and it kind of felt a little weird when we were going to go
toe-to-toe together in the slammer. So it was a lot of emotions that we had to get through.
Yeah.
You know,
As cognitive dissonance came up for both of us, I think we just directly asked each other, hey, how are you dealing with this? How are you going to be, going into this? Punching a friend in the face? So there were a couple times that Rick had conversations with us, and he talked to Max and Peter and was like, I love these guys, they're my good friends, but we punch each other in the face all the time. We have no problem doing it. And they talked us through that a couple times, and then as Kris and I would experience, different questions would come up for ourselves or for each other, and we'd just straight up, because there were times that we'd go out, have dinner or grab a beer
We're
or
neighbors.
two. Yeah, we live really close to each other. So we'd just stop by and say, hey man, just wanted to run this by you and let you know and see how you're doing with this. And
Who do you think had a harder time navigating that?
well, after the coaches got with us, what Scott was saying, and it's techniques, it's fights. This is what we're doing here. You're separating your emotions from it. You're separating your ego from everything, and you use, you lose. There's no win or lose. It's win or learn. So you take everything as a learning opportunity, and I think separating the emotions from our training was a great opportunity to do just that.
yeah, that intimidated me right there too. When I put my hand up to touch the gloves, and Kris just goes boom.
I didn't know what else I was supposed to do. We're in this cage.
So, Scott, were you thinking, man, Kris is more prepared than I am? No?
Yeah, he's definitely had more energy going in than I did.
I'm jumping up and down and freaking
Give
out.
me
Now,
some of that energy, bro.
I'm just trying to control the pace and try to get my groove and not use too much energy coming out too fast at this point.
And I'm doing the opposite. Throwing what I know and trying to look for an opening. What's Kris going to give me?
Yeah.
And I think that
That was a great kick, by the way. That was
Thank you.
fantastic. I can still feel that. So, yeah, it was great. When that cage door closed, I forgot all of the striking that we had trained, and I was like, "What am I doing here?" It was one of those moments. Yeah. And then right there, I thought you were hurt, so I just came at you. And you was just punching. You just knocked me down with a right hook, and now Scott's just beating me on the ground.
Wait, so I thought you had maybe slipped on that first fall, so it was actually a
Yeah, no, he caught me. He caught me right in the chin.
Okay.
I will remember that, and I went right to the ground, and I was like, "Oh my God, is this it?" And it wasn't. So.
Okay.
I'm just trying to control one of his arms, because if I control one of his arms, he can't choke me.
Right. You seem comfortable on the ground.
Yeah, I was a lot more comfortable on the ground than I am with striking. So that helped. That was a positive.
I don't remember clearing right here. So I'm just so lost. I'm like, I have no idea what to do.
And I felt that same way too. I was like, what's going on? What are we doing? We're starting to gas out a little bit. We're starting to feel it. I was just doing this weird thing with my hand. I was trying to catch all of your...
Catch or measure,
I was trying to catch or measure. Oh, this was a beautiful takedown. You changed levels and I was coming at you and you just took me to the ground. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm just controlling the one arm because I knew you couldn't choke me. And then there's this left arm kidney punch that you start raining down, and I can still feel that. And those were adding points for sure. The first round by points, my friend. You definitely won the first round.
I just mining through my mind to try and find what the hell.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no idea what to do.
And I felt that same way too. I was like, what's going on? What are we doing? When Scott changed levels, I
I don't know what I was thinking, but I stormed the guy. I just charged Scott, and he kept his level changed and came in perfectly for a takedown. For a double leg takedown. He just totally took me down. My feet came off the ground and I had one arm on his back and I went to the ground. At the same time, it was a beautiful takedown. I was actually thinking, thank you, because I was more comfortable on the ground than I am with the striking. And that's where I felt like I could hold off, and all I knew was defense, defensive wrestling. That's all I knew.
Now, Scott, were you more comfortable standing up versus the ground, or?
Yeah, I think I always have been with a little bit more comfortable with my stand-up. And I mean, Kris is far more sound on the ground than I am. I mean, I've always known that. So just coming into the fight, I was like, if you want to have a chance at this at all, stay standing.
Okay.
That was really my only, if there was a game plan. It really wasn't a game plan, but that's what I was telling myself. Don't go to the ground with this guy. He'll own you.
So let's back up a little bit, and I want to hear each one of yours game plan coming into it. So Scott, tell me if you had a game plan. And
Really, just as I was saying, it was stay standing. I know my vertical and lateral movement is okay. I gas myself out by using too much of it sometimes, but at least I keep moving and I have confidence in the striking a little bit and that movement. It was just don't go to the grounds, Kris. That was the sole thing, was stay standing, stay moving, stay active, don't go to the ground.
Okay.
That was it.
that's solid, right?
Yeah, solid.
And then Kris, what was your game plan? And
My
were you
game
able to
plan
implement
was to control the pace of the fight and actually wear Scott out, and then wait for the opportunity to come in for the kill. Pretty much that's what I was doing. Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. And
Perfect.
And,
worked,
that happened. At the same time, though, there was some technical stand-up things I was doing very poorly that you definitely took advantage of, and I was very proud of that.
Okay, so what would you, looking at this fight, I won't wait till the end of round 2 to recap, let's just do it now. Scott, what would you have done differently for the fight?
Taken my cardio way more seriously the
Really?
entire training program, yes.
Yeah.
I feel to a certain degree I let the coaches down, I let Kris down, I let myself down a little bit.
Really?
Not really pushing my cardio as much as I know that I could have. I think that would have been a huge factor for me.
Dude, you were a
Yeah.
fucking smoker coming into
I
this.
stopped
You had
smoking
6
and
months.
drinking 2 months or 2 weeks prior to the training starting, so I do credit myself for that.
That's an
but
achievement.
That really is. All right.
I would have taken the cardio a little more seriously.
Okay. All right, right on. That's legit, right? Kris?
For me, I think the striking and changing the levels and putting more body shots and a level change for a takedown into my game rather than trying to go to rip the guy's head off. The striking training was great, but my memory failed me. And I was patting and catching and swatting a little bit. I wasn't changing levels. I just came right out as like a brawler. I'm just going to try to knock this guy's head off, which exposes opportunities for the other player to take advantage of, and that's exactly what
Well,
happened.
I noticed Scott really was working his jab, which was doing its purpose of keeping you at bay.
Yeah.
You know, right?
He did a great job with several takedowns and the knockdown. During that first round, I was like, Scott is kicking my ass right now. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I got to do something, but there was a disconnect between applying the training and in this type of environment that is extremely difficult. And Andrew is saying, keep your arms in, level change, and work the body. And that was the disconnect that I was failing to apply.
So do you think, was that going through, or were you just like in a different universe?
I was in a different universe. I could hear what he was saying, but it didn't register. It didn't register.
So, really, That's why any advice they have to give to you or game plan wise during the fight
Yeah,
is just like
it might be moot because you
Yeah.
might, yeah.
I think the best game plan for any cage fight is just focus on your training. Train, and don't really have a game plan, but work your cardio and just survive.
Yeah, once you get to that point, the technique that you're going to learn is already instilled in you, or it isn't.
Yeah. Survive, defend, attack, pretty much. So round 2 starts. We almost like run into each other. Nice front kick from Scott. That was good. He's working that jab.
I need to come up
And-
with some more combinations too.
Me too.
Isn't all the
Definitely.
same.
I
well, you have
understand.
your jabs working, right? I mean, that's
Yeah,
about
I
it.
caught you with a kidney shot.
Nice.
And that slowed you down a little bit. And we're just throwing Hail Marys right now. We're just trying to
No kicking by either one.
not
of you,
much
huh?
kicking. No,
Yeah,
Scott had a lot more kicking than I did.
And there's Chris's left and then a right, and I go to the ground. He, good finishing instinct, man. He just swarmed on top of me,
Yeah.
threw a couple more shots. Ref came in to stop it.
I was just throwing, and I wasn't going to stop until they pulled me off. And that's exactly what happened. The ref actually was yelling at me to get off him, and I couldn't hear anything. It was just like, you just couldn't hear anything. You just go, just doing anything that you can. And
My hat's off to him, man. That's exactly what I would have done the same thing had I been able to capitalize. Yeah.
You were performing on that night better than Kris.
yes, first round,
First
definitely
round.
Scott
Yeah,
was
yeah.
in it.
And
to
hearing
win
your
it.
game plan now, I understand because I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So this would totally surprise me. Did you know he was gassing?
Yes, I saw it. So the game plan was to control the pace and wear him out. And so 30 seconds into the second round, Scott dropped his hands and stepped back from me. And I don't know what it was, but at that point I just knew it. And
That's when I
just
saw
came
your
right at
head
him.
come down, and you just came in, and then that's when I remember thinking, "Oh shit!"
That was the window I was looking for, the opportunity, and it came about. It came about, and it was a great experience. I wouldn't have traded it for the world, man.
No.
You're an awesome dude, man.
Thanks. I'm hoping to be able to do it again. Actually, at least go through the training. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Take the cardio a lot more seriously.
Rematch.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask you guys. Would you fight each other again?
We've actually talked about this a million times. Absolutely, if he wants to do it, I'm not going to deny him that. My only reservation would be some of the considerations for my family and my wife. I had no idea what it put through her through.
Talk about that.
I can't even explain. As somebody who's never really been, she has never really been in that world before and experienced that level of stress and anxiety, and just for, the entire process, she knew that eventually she was going to have to see me fight. But the last few weeks, and as we got to know he and his wife better, it became more of a reality, and it set in.
It did, definitely.
It really, it tore. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely emotional for both parties. My wife, she's a foundations graduate here, and she's a student in CAP, so she's been around the gym and understands. But when you hear her on this video of she's freaking out and stuff like that, I didn't even think about that while I was in there.
Let's talk about that. So, obviously, the training, your partner's subjected to a lot of stress. But let's talk about the actual fight night. How was your wife doing?
We got there a little bit early, and my wife, bless her heart, she kind of was in charge of the family. Getting everybody settled in, family and friends, and making sure that was taken care of, so I didn't have to worry about it. That night for me, I didn't really have any interaction with her until after the fight. I went downstairs to find her. And man, yeah, she just, the first words out of her mouth were no, and again, never again. And I mean, we've talked about it several times since then, and her position on it is, if it really means that much to you, obviously I'm going to support you in whatever you want to do, but this is A, B, and C is what I experienced, and I'd rather not to experience that again. But
are you comfortable sharing what A, B, and C was?
that's kind of sacred, you know, but just mainly the stress, the anxiety. I mean, it affected her, it just affected her life, you know, her work, her. She experienced stress at the job and stress at home, and
really impacted her. What was her main fear going into it?
Well, watching me get hurt, and she knows how much pressure I put on myself to perform as well. So she didn't want to see me fail. She wanted, you know, me to have the opportunity to have my family proud of me and my friends proud of me, and me be proud of myself for the work I put in, and I am. But yeah, that just a lot of things. Yeah. But I mean, absolutely, I want to do the training again. If I have the opportunity to do it, I'm at the very least going to do that. I've already thought about if they need an alternate, I would be willing to, because I don't want to deny someone who does sign up for it the ability to go all the way and actually step into the cage. And if Kris wanted a rematch and that was something that meant something to him a lot, I definitely would.
Other couples that have a significant other, you know, fighting for the first time, is there anything you learned?
Yeah, I mean, we do this for ourselves, to better ourselves, but don't discount what the people around you are going through as well, obviously. She's my best friend in the world, man, and I love her. And I don't ever want to put her through anything that she's not going to eventually benefit from in some way or make her happy in some way. So anyway, yeah, just don't discount and focus wholly on yourself.
Great advice.
Team sport.
So I have to ask the same question for you, because you had a wife, she was familiar with it, but
That's right.
how did she deal with, you know, the thought of you getting hurt, or was she hoping?
Oh, she did not like the thought of me getting hurt, you know, and everybody runs the worst case scenarios through their mind, you know. But she, you know, she knows I'm tough and I can take it. So, and, you know, it's so much fun wrestling and being a part of SBG and training and learning how to fight. It's so much fun. And you have to separate the emotions from the physicality. When, you know, you knocked me on my ass, I mean, that was awesome. You know, that was fantastic. I'm not upset. I mean, because you trained to do that and you applied that to the cage and you were successful. That is a huge win, and I'm so proud of you for that. As well, for myself, there were some things that I trained and I did well. So, you know, you have to, you know, there's no losing. There's learning. You know, if you don't win, you learn. And you take what you learned and you take that back to the lab, you take that back to the mat, and you train. And you try to come back and achieve that goal and to better yourself every step of the way.
End of the day, was she proud?
Oh yeah, yeah, and I mean, win or lose, getting in there and doing it and following through, it was a kick-ass experience, man.
I think every player that participated in this event in training should pat themselves on the back. Doing the training, putting yourself through it, you know, putting everything on the line, entering the cage and just going for it and learning about yourself, you know? I mean, you know, it's priceless. This is an amazing experience.
Nice.
Yeah. But she was, I don't know, I haven't asked her if there was an issue for me to do it again.
Like, did you see fear in her eyes for you?
Well, when I heard her on the video, she actually had to hand the video to someone else because she couldn't watch anymore. Yeah, and then she said, "Oh my God, Kris!" She was very excited about that, but she couldn't watch. So there's some similarities between, you know, your spouse watching you go through something like this, and it is very physical and it's very violent. I mean, this is fighting. This is a violent sport. But at the same time, I just think that this kind of thing makes you a better person, you know.
Okay, let's back up, because I interviewed both of you when you first started. Why don't each one of you try to recall what you said, the reason, your motivation for starting this or entering into this? Go ahead, Kris.
I can't really remember what I said. I just wanted to do it. I wanted to challenge myself, and because of the training, the nutrition, the physical training, I wanted to actually, lose a bunch of weight, and and add some skills to my tool belt. And I think we've achieved that, and now we're moving on to the next step. We're going to build on that.
How much weight did you lose?
We started, I was 185 when we started.
Same.
And for weigh-ins for the fight, I was 167. But I had to put on 5 pounds before the fight because Coach Rick said there might be too much of a weight difference between you.
Okay.
And he was like, go ahead and eat. And I was like, oh my God, that's the best thing that they could have told me. I was so happy to eat. And I did, which was good. So,
Wow.
and we actually weighed in, 0.2 pounds?
0.2 pounds different.
Yeah, we were right on. So,
Coordinate that?
yes, we coordinated most of our efforts.
All right, Scott, what about for you?
I just remember the prime motivator being wanting to break a lot of the monotony in my life. I mean, I just was at a point where the repetition was boring. I'd lost any form of competitive edge or desire to self-improve. And that's the way I was raised, to a perpetual student at life and continue to seek personal betterment. And I remember wanting to do that. That was the biggest thing.
Yeah, and you definitely achieved it with this.
I'm doing this for me. I'm just trying to be the best me that I can be. And, this program is giving me the opportunity to do that.
Regain some confidence and some drive, and I guess regaining that desire to push yourself. I mean, just to constantly driving towards personal betterment. I feel like I've lost a lot of that over the last several years of my life.
Brian Walsh and Rick Davison, thank you for being a part of my life. You've made me a better man inside the gym, outside of the gym. You inspire me to never give up and always keep going. And I am extremely grateful, and I want to make you guys proud.